Hello, I'm Denise for Spiritual Growth Tarot, and this will be our reading for Thursday, August 13th, 2020. And aligning with the forces of love and truth and wisdom, I am asking, how can we best use the energies and consciousness of the day? Okay, so 2 cards for the morning. Oh, I think we got that yesterday. Oh, that's nice together. Okay, and then for the theme, and 2 cards for the afternoon and the evening. Okay, well, it's interesting how this kind of all goes together. Oh, and of course I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris-Anne Donnelly. Okay, so we have the Page of Wands, the Queen of Cups, Justice, 5 of Swords, and the Ace of Cups. So don't worry about this card, because I see this as a beautiful opening and a deep healing, if as we go through it over and over and again in our lives. This is a very human card. Okay, so with the Page of Wands opening up the day, it looks like we'll probably have good energy in the morning, jumping up, ready to go. And what do we want to go towards? It's very enthusiastic. It has everything to do with discovering new things and using our talents, putting ourselves out there. Often with the pages, we'll get messages of some type. So you may wake up and have a really, good email from somebody, or you just, there's something on the news that's good, that helps you in some way. It's a very, passionate energy for the morning. So that's actually really, really beautiful. So something of a message and in the news, I think might be part of the day, or part of the morning, to open up the day. And it may flavor the whole day as well. But we have to remember that justice is the theme, so balance throughout the day. Okay, so with the Queen of Cups, she just, she's really intuitive. So this is about, going forward with your passion, but also honoring your intuition and trusting your feelings, trusting that you have everything inside of you. You have your emotional intelligence. You have your connection to your higher self and, the spiritual realm, the greater consciousness, that works for the greater good of the whole, the benign circle of love and abundance. You have all that inside of you. It's coursing through your veins. It's in our blood. It's there all the time. So you can always take for granted that, the love is always there. It's just to open up to it. And, the Queen of Cups also honors all that is sacred. I always have to remind myself of that, is that besides being intuitive and psychic, for some of you, this will be your card and you're a born psychic. And for others, it will be the process of doing a lot of emotional, healing any emotionally reactive place within, so that you can come back into the balance of your spirit. And as you do that, as you clear out the emotional reactions, then the feelings flow really freely, and you notice that you don't get stuck in the past as long or near as often. And when you do, it's just not for very long. And then what happens is eventually you can trust your feelings more and more and more, and they flow just freely, all the time, so that you can use your intuition to guide you constantly. And when you get there, that is considered a level of emotional intelligence. So these two together are really, really wonderful. This may be, this is not a normal meditation card, but this may be that you meditate on, what it is that you really want. Now, balancing out the soul forces, balancing out the consciousness and energy that you're aware of, and then the unconsciousness and what you're going for. That's another element that we always have to balance out. So we move through life seeing life as, well, if you want to move through life in reality, we have to know that, first of all, we have to remember that we're here on a planet of duality. And this goes with this card here too, a little bit. I'm going to kind of combine these two. But when you move through life knowing that deep down inside who you are is completely whole, is in complete unity, is in the truth of who you are, is 100% love and bliss, and you hail from, you come from, your origins are in a realm where there is no such thing as, a negative thought, there's no such thing as doubt, there's no such thing as ugliness. It's all beauty, it's all bliss, it's all love. It's just 100% complete love. But here we are on Earth, and we've incarnated just a little egoic fragment. And as we keep working, we can bring in other fragments to heal. So you can literally have, a rebirth experience in the same lifetime. And it's not fun, but it's doable, and it's definitely well worth it, because you don't have to, go through a whole nother incarnation where you go through the whole parental thing for the first 20 to 30 years, and then as an adult try to start over from where you left off. So you can save time by just doing your deep soul work, and have the experience of feeling like, once you've worked through something, it's like, oh, feels like another lifetime ago, but you did it in this lifetime. So when that happens, that's where we have cleared out a very deep duality. This card with the Five of Swords has to do with a deep inner conflict. I mean, in other decks, most tarot readers, they'll read this as just defeat, and you won, but at what price did you pay? And I see it that way too. I see it as the dualistic split of winner versus loser. But in the highest sense, it is about healing those deep inner conflicts, where you realize that life will always mirror back to you whatever you have inside. And what we have that's shrouding or covering the wholeness and the beauty and the love and the truth of who we really are, that's temporary, and that can clear out. The light will always come in and help us clear it out. So any negative thoughts about feeling less than, or not good enough, or that you don't matter, or that you're too much, or that you don't belong, any of those egoic fragments, those soul splits, those lies, those literal lies that you brought in based on, something that you took to your death, based on a decision in your last lifetime when you died. You had a weird, thought as you were leaving, like, what did I do wrong? Or what's wrong with me? Or why don't they love me? Or why am I not lovable? Something of the nature of untruth, passed through. And then that is like the ticket for your next incarnation, because obviously we didn't get it, right? Right? I mean, that's how it works. For instance, I had, in my last lifetime, I died in a gas chamber, and as I was dying, I was praying to love, to God, to the whole, where I was going, to tell me what I did wrong so that I don't do it again. And right there, it's like, how in the world can you do something wrong when it's a genocide situation? How could that have been my fault? But, obviously when I left that lifetime, I was headed in the direction of taking full self-responsibility. So, but, you can turn that against yourself too. That can be harsh self-judgment. So that's where the rebalancing of the mental false beliefs and how they tie into the emotional images, the emotional false beliefs, how those two keep us from staying, in that balanced, centered place. But look at this beautiful, happy, wonderful person just looking down and wondering, and constantly, notice how this is clearing out the dark. I absolutely love the imagery, the artwork in this deck. And so and this is the place where hold on to the light of who you are, because all of this other stuff is just temporary. It's just something to clear out. And sometimes we have to flip to the emotional side to do the deep work to clear that out. But it's always good to check in with your rational, as you're going through it, not to take you out of the feelings. When the feelings are there, just feel them, and not you're not going to get lost. That's not a fear that you have to worry about. If you go through the feelings and you keep asking for support from your guides and from the spirit realm, from all the love in the universe, and from other people, if you have someone near that can hold you, that's where you go. And then as it's clearing out, the mind will clear out along with it usually. Now, what happens for me a lot, or what has happened, and my clients as well, is that emotional material comes up and we're confused about why it's there. But the deeper we go into the emotional release work, then we can start asking the deeper questions like, where did I get that false belief? What was that all about? And is it true? Questioning the false belief from all the different angles and constantly asking, is it true? And of course you'll find out that it isn't, but you'll also get to the place where you understand where it came from. And then you can turn it around. This is where you can come full circle in your heart and turn it around. Find the true concept. Find your unit of truth that can help your soul just become completely clear and, back to the happy place. And it's also, I always remind myself that if I'm not, and you don't have to be 100% happy, but if you're not happy, you're not in truth. If you just hold on to that. And so in those moments when you're really not happy for a long time, which a lot of us are going through these days, these are very, very challenging times, but to take as much self-responsibility as you can for keeping your life clear and free of too much attachment, but also, coming from safety and protection, protective love, and then the rest of it, just know that this is just temporary. This is something that we're going through and we're clearing out, and then everything will flow freely again at some point. We may always have on Earth, we may have viruses that we have to understand where they come from, but we can change our ways. We can learn about how to treat animals better, especially humane slaughter instead of having them in the wet markets, and all kinds of other things. The factory farms. I mean, all of those things really need to go. And as we clear that out, humanity as a whole probably won't have to go through these things again. But as we do go through them, it's really important not to take it personally, as long as you're not coming from a real warring type of split that you're dealing with. As long as you're not wanting to kill everybody, or I doubt you'd be watching a channel like mine if you were like that. That's those people are usually just tied up in the mind. But you don't have to worry too much about this having a big, deep effect on your life, as long as you're always working in the light and the love and digging for the places where it's hard to bring the love through. That's the best work that any of us can ever do, honestly. So that's how I see, the evening. This may also, just on a pure mundane level, if we were to just look at it as not a lot of deep soul work, but just on of the energies for the day, which it may very well be. It could be that we have a lot of energy. We wake up in the morning, we had a lot of passion and a lot of, soul connection, loving connection. And this can be like, daughter to mother and back and forth. And then we can have a nice, balanced part of the day. But then later on in the afternoon, we go, oh, shoot, I think I overdid it. Or what is going on, or things that we have to figure out. But then later on in the night, everything's clear again. So that's how I see it. Okay, thanks you guys for tuning in, and I'll be back for Fridays. Okay, take good care. Bye.